It's midweek preview time. Daggy and Beaver are with you to get stuck into Rosehill and Ballarat this afternoon. It's cracking, Beaver.
Mate, it's going well actually. All good. Yeah, we get to another day's racing um, after the end of the carnival on Saturday. So here we are.
And as I suggested, I was a little bit, wasn't so much excited on paper, but was happy to get back to the regular Rosehill and Roundwick rotation in Sydney. We got some nice results as a result all the way through the afternoon. So I think we had the first 5 winners between us at Rosehill, and you came home with Gustissimo. So nice work there. And
Yes.
Flemington wasn't bad either. Another 50 metres for Amakura would have been even better, but we soldier on.
Yes, I think I got the winner in the last at Sydney and Flemington, which would have helped the punters get home okay. And some really good performances, I have to say, on the last day. Imperatrix was outstanding. How good Pride of Jenny.
I mentioned it as a sort of a chronology. I wish I'd been more bullish because I half had a feel that, and I had it in the quaddie and ended up backing it, but I wish I'd been more bullish on a show. But it was very good, very good. And, gee, she's going to beat up some mares grade races when she gets back to some of those 1,400 metre mile mares stuff. She can pretty much win what she wants if she's going to run like that.
Yeah, that's right. It gets out in front and leads them a merry dance, then happy days. Schwartz was impressive. Showed it's a good horse, packed with plenty of potential. So super impressed by that. That was outstanding and backed up what we thought. As you say, we had a great start to the day in Rosehill. And so I think, as we said, we finished off quite nice as well. We got the winner of the 7th. I think I said Unspoken was the danger, although I copped some flack on Antino. I did think that Unspoken, I did say Unspoken was the danger, and fair call there. And got out in the last and was pretty happy with the price we got for Gustissimo. So all in all, that would have been a really good day if you followed our tips on Saturday, I think.
And I got one up on you with Muramasa too, so I was due for one on you.
You did. You did. Well done there, mate. It's a good call.
Anyway, we soldier on. We've got one more group meeting this weekend. We've got 1,000 guineas and where are we up to? Hunter or the Gong or some of those weird ass out wide races coming up for us to look at. But today we've got Rosehill to get stuck into, where the rail is in the 7 metre position. Should have a good track. And I suggest, I don't know if you necessarily need to be on pace, but I think you need to be near the rail to be in the finish in some of these. Smaller fields may well help. And just before we got on air, I looked at the scratchings, and I think I've lost half my tips. So let's see how we go as we run through on the seat of our pants, which is kicking off with the 2-year-olds, 1,100 metres, maiden, and you can have first crack.
Thanks, mate, because this is as tough as they get. A lot of first starters, or all first starters here, should I say, and really hard to line up the trial form. I guess you're going to have to watch the market for the movers here to see if money comes for anything. Favourites too short for mine. I was just looking around something around the 5 and 6, Tensile and Venero, sort of around the 750 mark. First starters from Niche and its coming stable. I think they can run well off the back of their trials. They were solid enough and have the right breeding to sprint well fresh.
I am going to put Spywire on top. I had it as the danger had Stormboy been here. I think it now finds the top. I like the trial. I think there'll be improvement off that. Only had the one trial, and I believe there's a bit of a spruik around it from the camp. So let's start with Spywire in the first. But as you say,
it's got some great breeding.
It does, yeah. Out of
Trapeze Secret Trail.
Yeah, it stacks up pretty well. So I believe they've got an opinion of it. So we'll start the day with it. But I'll be following Stormboy where it heads. I was actually just seeing if it'd been accepted somewhere else. But we'll get to the second, which is also a 1,400 metre, $100,000 maiden, but somehow can only get 6 horses into it. Again, we've lost our chance. I'm going to put... I actually didn't mind the debut of Waikato Girl down the bottom here. Again, I had it as a danger. should the favourite had been here. Got out the back and flashed home. I think up to 1,400 metres is going to suit. Jason Collett won't be as far away, and I'll have it on top. Obviously now if Century finds the lead in gate 1, it's going to be hard to beat. But what did you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Sensory from the Wallace stable here. With now the scratchings, I think it can control the race. Got the inside gate, so it can lead or sit behind the lead, and I think it might be just too good for these.
The third is a benchmark 68, 5 horses here. It's got to be said, this is a pretty disappointing card for a Rosehill Wednesday. Fleetwood,
very disappointing.
Yeah, Fleetwood gets gate 1. We've seen the form stack up through Gustissimo. Does look likely and is on top for me. From Run with the Tide, who did lead last time out and won well enough. Coming here, should get the right setup to be the main danger. Market suggests that. I'm scared of armed forces, and there's part of me just want to declare it, given how well these horses have come back from black type and won. But I'm just sort of a bit with the rail here. But what do you think?
Seriously, I can't believe the favourite's only $2.30. I think it should be odds on.
Fair enough.
It's ran 2 lengths behind Gustissimo, which is outstanding form, and 3 lengths behind Osmosis. Like, seriously,
Fair enough to me.
Has anything got that type of form here? That form line just stacks up for me. I'm surprised that it's not shorter. I think 2:30 is pretty good, and clear on top for me.
Well, being devil's advocate, I guess there's a portion that say 2 lengths off Stepati for armed forces. Read similarly, I guess.
Yep, fair call.
The fourth is a benchmark 72, over 1,500 metres. And I'm going with this Portelli horse here, Miss Hades. Went out wide, had 2 nice kills there. Has come back where it went pretty well. Hit the front quite early. Down at Kembla, just got run down late. It now has Jay Collett from an inside gate. I think it's going to get the right run. I think it's going to be very hard to beat. And I just have had enough of Molly Nails. It's also keeps stubbing up for, but it's now been 470 days since it's won a race and has Hannah Williams. So going against that, I'm going to make Miss Ciccone the danger if there is one. Not bad leading up in midway grade the last couple, and perhaps getting a softer time here sets up well enough for it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going the same way as you. I'm going for Miss Hades as well. Consistent as of late, hitting the line strongly, in good form, and I think it can run a huge race here from the gate. So I think you're right. It's got the best form in the race and most consistent. That might be good enough to get another win.
The fifth is a benchmark 72, 1,300 metres. Who do you like here?
Yeah, I narrowed this down to a couple. I thought this was a fairly open race. I've gone for number 9, Miss Fabergé. I thought that was a really good resumption first up, and hit the line really nicely there. So I think the extra 100 metres here suits. Got the right draw, and I think it can run a nice race after it trialled well, and has ran in some okay company in town prior in last time in. I think the main danger is the King. It's been kept for this. I think it probably gets the right run here, leads, and if there is any favouritism to the leaders, it's going to be hard to get past. So I was kind of playing those two. Back one, save on the other.
I'm sticking with Cloudland on top. Gate 1 is the reason why. I like the resumption against a decent enough horse there. In fact, Shadows of Love came out and got out of jail to win that midway on the weekend.
Sure did.
Couldn't believe it won there. So I'm just sticking with the obvious. I had the dangerous Miss Fabergé. I liked that. I love that resumption. Trials were good. It's always a horse I've had a bit of an opinion of. I'm interested that they've kept it fresh instead of trying to get straight up beyond a mile. So with all that being said, if we're running on, I think at $12 looks great value for me. So I agree. The 6 is an 1,800 metre benchmark 72. Most of this lead up comes through the midways we've seen 10 days ago. And that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to go again with the inside gate here. State of America drew that gate last time out, had everything go its way and won well enough, actually. And I think gets the same run. Hieronymus will push forward. It will land on the back of Go Troppo and only has to get past it. I think those two fight out the finish, actually. So they're the two for me. I would elevate Built, but let's just see how the track's playing first, because should we be swooping, then I guess Built and Extra Revs definitely have to be considered here. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a pretty good assessment. If you ask me, I've gone for State of America as well. I think the way the setup looks for this race means that it's going to get the crack here. It's going to sit behind Go Troppo and peel off at the 200, and assuming it can go past it, I think it's probably going to get the chockies, and it's been going pretty well this preparation, so no reason it can't do it again.
Let's wrap up with a 1550.72. Who do you like?
Yeah, not a race I'm overly keen on, actually, to be getting out on at the end of the day. I've stuck with the Little Pumper here from the Waterhouse Spot stable. It's coming back in grade here from Group 2 to a midweek. Sort of had Group 2 open class races coming off the back of a nice trial prior to that. This is a lot easier. It gets gate 2, and I think it could run a good race.
I don't particularly like the race either. For the sake, I can play. I'm looking for value. I can play around the leader in the last at Rosehill, which would be famous Pedrille, if it can spring out and lead around the $8.59 mark. I think can run well enough here. And then I sort of was going to make a case for Clear Choice, who both runs back have been good, has to come back to town, but might just be in the right spot with Josh Parr up on pace as well. Tricky way to finish the day, though. I don't think it'd be a massive betting race for me, I suggest, unless it's desperate times. But that's a different story. Your best and value at Rosehill for progroupracing.com.au.
Yeah, my best comes up in race 3, number 2, Fleetwood. Pretty keen on it. And my value bet comes up in race 5, number 9, is Fabergé.
I've lost my first few there. So let's go race 6, number 4, State of America. Gets the best run, hardest to beat on the card. And we'll finish with that value bet. Race 7, number 1, famous Pedrille. As we head to Ballarat, where the rail moves out 5 metres. Again, a slightly underwhelming card for midweek, but we do have the Canterbury's and Moonee Valleys kicking in this week as well. Soft track, which should be drying out. So Ballarat tends to play pretty fair. Everyone gets their chance to run on if there's not much wind around. So we kick off with 1,000 metres for the babies. And is there anything that's piquing your interest?
Not a lot that is piquing my interest here. Tough race again. Watch for market moves. I was more looking at the first starter from the Davenink stable. Just thought it had trialled okay, and won't have to be a superstar to win this. So I had it on top, but not overly keen to play in this race.
I've got National State on top. I like the debut. I like the up in distance. I like the tick over trial since, which it led and won well. So was making a case for this, but the first starter wouldn't have to be a superstar to win this by any means. Not the most interesting race I've done in the last few weeks. The second is again over 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds, a maiden. And this was one of those ones where you can sort of go through and make cases for all their trials. But I ended up putting Stromberg on top. Might be a decent start of the day for John Maloney. Inside gate, I like the trials. Carleen Heffelon has the rail to follow, and at 650, I can probably spec on it each way, but more of a watch and learn here. A couple of these are coming back from the black type races where they didn't necessarily do a great deal, but at least have had the run. Yeah, any keener?
Not overly. I'm going for the first starter from the McAvoy stable, Power of 3. Tried up nicely for this. So I've got it on top. I thought that one of the dangers could be Vianara from the Busselton Young stable. Only had the one start, but that was in listed company at Caulfield. Comes back here to midweek at Ballarat. So they obviously thought it had a little bit of ability. So I had it as a main danger.
Especially for a stable that it caught my a little bit. Especially for a stable that if there was an issue or if a run like that, they would tip it straight out. So they must have a little bit of a bit more confidence to keep going. But we'll obviously know more after the race. The third is the 3-year-old fillies, 1,200 metre maiden. Anything here?
Again, pretty tricky little affair here. Some of these have had a start, some haven't. I thought Lady Negroni from the Hayes stable here could run well. It was well supported at its debut. Started $3 favourite, I think, and didn't do a lot, but that was coming off a nice trial, so expect that it may have got something out of that experience and can run well here. I watch on the Cummings Train Juggle at double figure odds. Similarly, was supported at its debut and finished a tidy fourth. So I think the same thing, it could run well as well. So that I'd be backing both of those.
I end up Lady Negroni on top as well. I didn't mind that debut. It wasn't bad at all. I think obviously going to be better for that. The extra, it sticks at 1200, doesn't it? But gate 4, I think, sets up better for it here. And I'll have it on top as well from El Quinto, who has had a few jump outs and has found a bit of form in those last couple, has been able to lead them and run away pretty well. Doesn't have to be a star to win this. So they're the two I'll play around. Again, I had a good look at Juggle as well. So next best, coming out of a race where that leader, Harder Glass, just ran him into the ground. Sometimes you can definitely forgive races like that where they'll get in the line and have to chase a breakaway. The fourth is a Mile Maiden, a particularly uninspiring Mile Maiden, and simply if Spiritual Thinker doesn't win this, it should probably explore its dressage options because this isn't a good race, and at least it'll be up close enough and has been running okay. This is largely awful.
Nothing further to add.
The fifth is 1600 metre benchmark 64, and looks like we have a nice enough horse at the top here, Beaver. Is that the way you've gone?
Yeah, it is. I think you're right. It is a nice enough horse. The one by a length and a half at Maidenets when Amble, beating Mr. Traficante. And Mr. Traficante came out and won its next start after that, I think on the Sunday after Derby Day, and was a really nice win. So I think this horse might have a little bit of ability. It's going to can sort of, based on its 2 runs, it can sit on speed or get back a little bit, and it has some versatility. And at gate 6, I think it can posse up, and I think it can win again.
I agree too. I love betting into these 64s when you got lightly raced horses that are going to better things. It's found the line nicely both starts. I think there was form out of that second win as well. So, and I've just forgotten. There's been another horse come out and run quite well out of that somewhere. It'll win this. It meets the right race to keep winning, and it's on top for me as well. The 6 is another 64, 2,600 metres, and I did the form, and I just decided eventually Zaynuddin's going to win one of these races. I like the fact it led last time. They put it up there in the firing line, and it just got nailed late. And that Declan Bates sticks. I think he'll do the same thing. That said, I went and looked at the market, and it's now $2.40, so I'm not overly enthused because they do all tend to take turns. But if we get better than that, even if it gets back out beyond $3, I think this is a reasonable enough bet here. But it's now been over 440 days since it's won anything, so I take that on board too. So too short, but on top. What do you think?
Yeah, not for me. I'm going to go Pearl Blue. It was well supported last start and duly saluted over the 23.50 at Warrnambool, sat on pace and just plugged away nicely there to win. I think it's going to be hardest to beat, and I prefer the $4 there. Main danger number 6, Meanless, third up, just working into its preparation, stepping up nicely, and I think it'll get the distance, so it could be the main danger.
Beautiful. We've got a class 1 up next. Race 7 is over 1,400 metres. Again, we've lost 8 of the field. With what's left, has anything caught your eye here?
I'm sticking with the favourite from the Freedman stable, Foolproof. Its 2 runs in its first preparation were pretty nice. I thought it beat Sirius Black, which is good form line, and then finished third in the prior to that in its first ups run. I think it looks like, as we said, in these types of races, looks like the horse that might have the most upside here. And Freeman has a habit of making sure that he places these horses to perfection. So I think it's winning.
Yep. Obviously, the only question is you need to see it do it on turf after those Syntho wins, but you've covered off all the points I was going to make. Both trials are fine, sat wide, worked home, and we're good. So on top for me, and we'll get on to the 8th, which is the 1100 metre benchmark 64. And I ended up here making a case for Celestial Harbour, who has a string of short SPs and has been knocked off a couple of times, but I maybe feel that maybe fresh is best for this horse. Its best runs have been first up, and if you can push forward here again off a nice enough first trial where it bolted in and had a tick over since, I'm hoping first up here around the $6 mark, it can give us a nice sight. I had Royal Invader as the main danger, and just looking now, it's been smashed this morning in the betting, so obviously someone else agrees. They're the two for me. I know you've had an opinion of Rich Lover in the past and just had no luck last time at the Valley. Are you doubling down, or are you going somewhere else?
No, look, I think it's a major player, but I'm going to go for Royal Invader. I just think this horse, again, has a bit of upside. If first up was pretty good. When you look at it, all things being equal, pink bow tie, has a little bit of ability. It was well backed, sort of run on nicely, and over the 1,000 was just a little bit short on that day. The 1,100 gets an extra 100 here. It's got the Alan Mar Eustace combination, got the inside gate, and if you go back to its first preparation, ran a second behind Brazen Lady at Sandown. So that's a good form line for me after a nice win at its breaking its maiden. So again, progressive type from the Mar Eustace stable is always hard to go past, and definitely when drawn so well.
Awesome. For progroupracing.com.au, I'm going to make my best of the day. Race 5, number 1, Cape Doctor. And on a day where it was tricky to find value, race 8, number 11, Celestial Harbour Fresh. It might be just that. What have you got?
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going race 5, number 1, Cape Doctor as my best as well. And my value, I didn't really have too much in the value stakes. Maybe race 3, number 3, Juggle could be good value.
Cool. What's happening at Doomben?
Yeah, Doomben, I did manage to find a couple up there. First one comes up in race 1 at number 3, Mannerheim from the Wallace stable.
I was on it at 50s first up. So that's heaps good. And it should have won.
Yeah, well, should have won, and now you get the favourite as favourite, mate. So knock yourself out.
Somehow one of these other Waller ones ran me. But anyway.
Very likely. Race 6, number 12, Kazrock, around the $5 mark. I think it can run well. And race 7, number 2, Johnny Rambo.
Beautiful. Thank you. I was trying to get something clever to say, but I'll leave it alone. Thank you, Beaver. We'll be back.
It will take you a while, mate. You can't come up with that without preparation.
I'll text you at 3 p.m.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll be back on Friday afternoon to look at the Gong and the 1,000 Guineas. So looking forward to that. We'll have articles up tomorrow, Beaver. You're on the job for that?
I'm on the job.
And I'll have an article up for Friday evening where we've got the Valley and Canterbury in play as first night meeting there. Check out progroupracing.com.au and we'll talk soon. See you guys.